Today marks the first day of Black History Month, a time for celebration and education of African American culture. Authors Ibram X. Kendi and Keisha Blain are releasing a new book called 400 Souls, a community history of African America, 1619 to 2019. The anthology features essays from 90 writers and poets who each focus on a specific period of time. Keisha Blain is an historian and professor at the University of Pittsburgh, and CBS News contributor Ibram X. Kendi is the founding director of the Boston University Center for Anti-Racist Research. They join us first on CBS This Morning. Welcome to you both. Congratulations. Thank you so much for being here. Ibram, let me start with you, because this is a book that has, as I pointed out, 90 different authors, a variety of voices. Why was it important that you use so many authors?
Well, in 2018, I was thinking about what would be the best way to commemorate this 400th birthday, symbolic birthday of Black America, this community. And as an historian, of course, I was like, well, let's write a history book. But then the more that I thought about it, the more I realized, well, why not bring together a community to write the history of a community? And so, of course, I had to reach out to Professor Blain, and who was willing to partner with me, and we were able to do that, bring together an incredible community of writers to write a history of a community.
Keisha, you said that you wanted to challenge the idea that the Black community is a monolithic community.
Yes, I think this is so important because, of course, we may look similar, but we're not the same. There's so much diversity of thought and diversity of experiences and even diversity of backgrounds. And it was important for us to represent that richness and complexity in the way that we told the history in 400 Souls.
You know, I thought was interesting. Number one, I want to thank you both for having short chapters. It was such a great read because you could zip through it very quickly, so I thank you for that. Number two, there were so many stories I didn't know. Hugh Davis was one that stuck out to me. Was a white man who was beaten because he had slept with a Black woman. And that was an interesting twist in what the stories that we've been told in the past. Why did you include that, Professor?
Well, yeah, it was an incredible essay by...
Oh, yeah, you're both professors. Sorry. Sorry, go ahead. Because he was beaten for dishonoring whiteness, and nothing happened to her. Go ahead, Professor. Kendi first.
No, I was just going to say very quickly, I mean, Ijioma's piece was incredible, but I think it really speaks to how old racism is in what later became America, and even how old Black women have been sort of devalued, you know, in America.
Yeah, that was in 1630. I like, too, Professor Blain, where you said, I am my ancestors' wildest dreams. That is absolutely one of my favorite sayings. Why is that so powerful?
It's so powerful because it speaks to all that I think we've overcome, certainly as individuals, but even collectively as Black people. Because certainly, if you look back at the history and you reflect on even the time period that we're discussing now, you would really have to marvel at what Black people have managed to accomplish given the experiences of slavery, Jim Crow, and the continued challenges of racism and white supremacy.
Keisha, another story that I think is not familiar to a lot of people is about Maria Stewart, who was a feminist and an abolitionist in Boston in the 1830s. Why did you choose to include her story?
Her story is so powerful because it resonates with the present in many ways, especially when we think about, for example, the Black Lives Matter movement. We think about the courageous 3 Black women who founded the movement. And we saw just in the last couple of months with the uprisings how Black women have played such a pivotal role in shaping American politics. And Maria Stewart's story from the 1830s help us recognize that this is certainly not a new phenomena, that Black women have been leading for a very long time, and they have been asserting their voices and demanding rights for themselves and also demand rights for everyone.
And as we mark Black History Month, it always sticks in my craw that it's the shortest month of the year, but that's another story. What do you want people to know? What should we remember and take from this month as we begin to honor and observe and celebrate? Professor Kendi?
Well, I think this history book really demonstrates that there are so many individuals, historical figures that we should continue to revere, but we should also not forget those ordinary Black folks who have been part of this longer struggle. And so we were very keen on bringing in stories of everyday Black folks who strove to be free throughout the course of their history.
Yeah, I like to think of it as American history. Professor Blain, you want to take us off? It's American history, I think.
And it's really important to remember and just reflect on the strength and resilience of Black people in the United States. As people read the book, they'll see the challenges that Black people face, but just the way that they found they were able to overcome those challenges and the way that they were able to move things forward and really to make the nation a better place for all of us, even though the work and the struggle still continues.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. Thank you both. You said the book shows that Black people never stop dreaming or fighting for their dreams to become a reality, and certainly some of that continues today. I'm going to hold up the book if you don't mind. Ibram X, Kendi, and Keisha Blain, we thank you both. 400 Souls goes on sale tomorrow wherever you like to buy your books.